This Retire in Italy for Cheap video is actually inspired by a comment about our video on retiring for cheap in Lucca, which is in Tuscany. Lucca is a charming city located in the Tuscany region of Italy, known for its well-preserved city walls that surround its historic centre. It's situated about 30 minutes from the coast, northwest of Florence and west of Pisa, making it an ideal spot for experiencing both cultural sites and beautiful natural scenery. Nestled in a fertile plain, Lucca is surrounded by the rolling hills of Tuscany, with vineyards, olive groves, and scenic landscapes that define the region. The comment stated, "What good is free or $150 per month medical care when they are taking nearly half of your income?" Perhaps this works for someone scraping by on Social Security income here in America. But for a middle-class family with perhaps 2 Social Security incomes, it does not make sense. Better to save up and take a month or 2 vacation in Tuscany. This comment seems to be suggesting that taxes are so high in Italy that it would offset the other savings so that you could not actually retire for cheap in Italy. So let's dive in and see what this actually looks like. There are several questions that arise from the Retire for Cheap in Lucca video comment. The first necessary question is, what is a middle-class retirement income for a couple? People can have really different definitions of what middle-class retirement income is. And institutions like the Pew Research Institute tells us that it is somewhere between $50,000 and $150,000 per year, which is a very wide range. I will take a look at 3 retirement incomes that cover the range: $50,000 per year, $100,000 per year, and $150,000 per year. But if we are doing an apples-to-apples comparison, what location in the US is similar to Lucca and Tuscany so we can get a close look at a potential cheap retirement in each country? The first place I think of is California's Napa Valley or Sonoma County, as these regions share similar characteristics such as rolling hills, vineyards, and a Mediterranean climate. Both areas are known for their wine production, picturesque landscapes, and charming small towns, reminiscent of Tuscany's appeal to those looking for high-quality life. Napa Valley would be way more expensive than Tuscany regardless of taxes. The average rent for a 2-bedroom apartment in Sonoma County varies slightly by source, but generally falls in the range of $2,400 to $2,700 per month, which doesn't sound like retiring for cheap to me. Another option could be parts of central Virginia, such as the Charlottesville area, which offers gentle hills, wineries, and a slower-paced lifestyle. This seems more reasonable, and so I'm going to pick Charlottesville as our US location for comparison. I will look at the various costs of living in each location, and at the end of the video we will come up with an after-tax comparison of whether retiring for cheap in Tuscany is a real possibility or not. Okay, let's go. First, let's look at the taxes. For a married couple in the US with a combined income of $50,000 and filing jointly, the tax calculation begins with applying the standard deduction, which is $27,700 in 2024. This leaves a taxable income of $22,300. Federal taxes are calculated using the progressive tax brackets, where the first $22,000 is taxed at 10%, and the remaining $300 is taxed at 12%, resulting in total federal taxes of approximately $2,236. For state taxes in Virginia, rates range from 2% to 5.75%, likely adding somewhere between $1,000 to $2,500 in state taxes. Altogether, the couple's total tax burden would be approximately between $6,000 to $8,500. And if we pick the midpoint, we arrive at a net income of roughly $42,500. I will spare you the details for each of the income levels, and just say that at the $100,000 level, the after-tax income would be about $80,000, and at the $150,000 level, the after-tax retirement income would be about $115,000. For Italian taxes, we first need to convert US dollars to euros. 50,000 US dollars equals about 48,000 euros currently. The total tax burden includes income tax and regional and municipal taxes. The income tax is calculated progressively, with 23% applied to the first 15,000 euros, 27% on the next 13,000 euros, and 38% on the remaining 20,000 euros, totaling 14,560 euros. Regional taxes typically range between 1.2% and 2.3%, and municipal taxes between 0.2% and 0.9%. These add about €1,000 in combined regional and municipal taxes. In total, the couple would pay about €15,500 in taxes, leaving them with a net income of approximately €32,500. These estimates assume no additional deductions or credits, which could reduce the overall tax liability. $100,000 equals about €96,000 currently, and would result in €60,000 in after-tax income. $150,000 equals about €144,000 currently, and would result in €85,000 in after-tax income. We will go back to these numbers in a minute, but for now, let's just start trying to break down the cost of living in these two areas. I will use the two rental properties that I referenced in the Lucca video, in which one was going for €550 per month, and the other was going for €700 per month, and say that you can find something small but nice just outside the walls for around €600 per month. In Charlottesville, my research shows that a similarly sized apartment goes for about $1,600 per month. For simplicity's sake, I am just going to leave the comparison at the rental market for the two locations. But for whatever it's worth, the median housing prices in Charlottesville is currently $533,000. This is a 3-bed, 2-bath house in Charlottesville that is currently going for $535,000. Looks pretty nice in my opinion. Here is a map of the general location, with the orange diamond in the middle of the map representing the property. However, the median property price in Lucca is about $200,000 less than it is in Charlottesville. Here is a property in Lucca at that price point, and here is a look from the inside. We can see from the map of this location in Lucca that it is very close to the water, but that it is also very close to a grocery store, which is highlighted in yellow, and public transportation, which is circled in blue. This means you probably don't have to own a car. We will go over transportation comparisons later in this video. The property in Charlottesville is larger and more modern looking. The property in Lucca is closer to the water. The average cost of food for a couple in Lucca varies depending on shopping habits and dining preferences. On average, a couple can expect to spend around €350 to €450 per month on groceries, especially if they shop at local markets and buy fresh produce, dairy, meat, and other staples. Dining out adds to the food budget, with an average meal at a mid-range restaurant for two costing around €60. Additionally, simple meals like a pizza or pasta dish at a local eatery could be around €10 to €15 per person. So if a couple goes out twice per week, we are going to say food comes to €900 per month. Although you could do it for less if you went out less. In Charlottesville, the average monthly cost of groceries for a couple is about $450. This includes regular grocery items like bread, meat, and vegetables. Of course, this can vary depending on dietary preferences, shopping habits, and where you shop. The average cost for a couple to dine out twice a week in Charlottesville can vary based on the type of restaurants they choose. On average, a dinner for two might cost between $40 and $100, depending on the dining style, with casual dining falling toward the lower end of the spectrum and more upscale options pushing the price higher. Therefore, a typical monthly budget for two people dining out twice a week could range from $320 to $800. The mid-range of that is about $550 a month to go out twice a week and $450 in groceries, or about $1,000 per month. Cell and Wi-Fi are combined in Italy, and the average cost is around €40 per month. In the United States, expect that number to be between $150 and $200. The average cost for utilities is $300 per month in the US, not including phone and internet. It's about $200 in Lucca. For a couple living in Charlottesville, Virginia, the combined out-of-pocket healthcare costs, assuming both are on Medicare, could range from $6,600 to $15,000 annually. This estimate factors in costs for premiums, co-payments, and other out-of-pocket expenses for medical, dental, and vision care. For a Medicare Advantage plan, premiums may be higher, but out-of-pocket costs could be lower than for traditional Medicare, with a Medigap policy, depending on the services used. I'm going to say that the average is $10,000 per year. In Italy, it's €2,000 per person, so $4,000 total. It is not easy to pinpoint an exact percentage of retirees in Charlottesville who rely on public transportation, but the general trend shows that public transportation usage is relatively limited. It is likely that most retirees in Charlottesville still prefer personal vehicles due to the limited scope and frequency of public transit options. On average, drivers spend about $2,200 per year on gas. Annually, the cost for maintenance and repairs is around $1,000, depending on the vehicle and its age. The average annual premium for car insurance is around $1,700. For 2 cars, the total annual cost could be around $10,000 for both vehicles combined, which is approximately $800 per month for the couple. The average cost of public transportation in Lucca, if you don't have a car, which is much more possible, is €10 per person. The cost of living for Lucca for a couple is $600 for rent, €900 for food, cell and Wi-Fi for $40 per month, utilities for $200, $350 for healthcare, and €20 per month for transportation. This comes to €2,110 per month. Keep in mind that the estimates in the previous video were for an individual rather than a couple. The cost of living in Charlottesville for a couple is $1,600 for rent, $1,000 for food, cell and Wi-Fi for $200 per month, utilities for $300, $800 for healthcare, and $800 per month for transportation. This comes to a monthly total of $4,700 per month. The couple that has $50,000 of pre-tax retirement income in Charlottesville, which came to $42,500 after-tax dollars, or about $3,500 per month, would come up well short of the needed $4,700 per month. In Lucca, this same couple would have €32,500 in annual after-tax income, or €2,700 in after-tax income per month. Their cost of living is €2,110 per month, and so they do have room to spare. The couple that has $100,000 of pre-tax retirement income in Charlottesville, which came to $80,000 after-tax dollars, or about $6,600 per month, would have about $1,700 in excess monthly income. In Lucca, this same couple would have €5,000 in after-tax income per month. Their cost of living is €2,110 per month, and so they have about €2,900 per month to spare. They would save more if they lived in Lucca, but in both cases, they could have a comfortable retirement. At the $150,000 level, in Charlottesville, they would save $4,700 per month, and in Lucca, they would save about $5,000 per month. So in that case, it's pretty similar. The obvious issue is for the couple in Charlottesville at the $50,000 per year of retirement income. There are ways they could cut costs, like only having 1 car and only going out to eat twice per month as opposed to twice per week. But the point would be that in our Retire for Cheap in Lucca plan, they would not need to cut these costs. Thank you for taking this trip with us as we have compared and contrasted the price of retiring in Lucca and Charlottesville, Virginia. Let me know where you think I got it wrong in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss more of our travel guide-based videos. Safe travels, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.